Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
What investors must focus right now? A lot of you would be clients of an advisor, or you would be taking advice from friends and family. When the markets are trading at such elevated levels, it is every investor's duty to seek wiser counsel. You must talk to somebody who can give you some clarity, who can hold your hand with some important decisions, who can tell you what you should not do, who can show you what you can consider doing. Because when everybody around you is only bullish and does not want to think of doing anything other than buying, you need something different to happen to your thinking. You need to be guided or nudged gently to think differently. That is something which somebody can do for you in an advisory capacity. Everybody tends to do something very different in times like this. Instead of seeking such wiser counsel, instead of seeking out someone who would tell them what they should not do and gently nudge them towards what they can consider doing, what people do most of the time is seek out somebody who will readily agree with them. Effectively, what people want now is an echo chamber where you meet somebody who agrees with everything you're saying, and you take that agreement as validation of your own thought process. But you miss the whole point. That person is also needing to talk to somebody else who agrees with him. So this is a kind of a mutual admiration society where two people who want the same thing from each other talk to each other. But the core issue is both of them need something else. That's where sane, sensible, contrarian advice is a scarce commodity today. I know a lot of people think of advisors as, I can get an advisor anytime. I'll pay and I'll get the advice. Kind of a very mercantile approach towards seeking advice. But what I have noticed in my life is such mercantile approaches don't work. In fact, they don't work in times like these because you wouldn't even know whom to talk to. You'd probably talk to the wrong person. Or even after talking to that person won't convince you enough to act in your own interest. He would also end up telling you something which you like to hear, which is not good enough for you. So this is a time when even getting the right people to talk to you is not easy because you're not going to know where to look, or you may look at the wrong people. As a matter of fact, I have stopped giving advice to people. I don't think a lot of people want to listen to advice. I'd rather they make up their own minds, make their own choices and be held accountable to that. Because if I give an advice to that person, if he accepts my advice and applies himself, he is still going to credit himself for whatever outcome happens. And if he doesn't apply himself adequately or the advice doesn't work for him for whatever reason in the short term, he is only going to hold me accountable even if his part is not insignificant. Given these circumstances, I am not inclined to take on any advisory clients. And even informally, I advise only somebody with whom I have the comfort level. That's just to tell you the mindset. So this is how people feel in markets like these. So trivializing advice today is not the right thing to do for an investor, and seeking out the right advice is also not going to be easy. So you need to make the effort now more than ever before. Because everybody is busy with their own investing, nobody has time for you. even if it's friends and family. And everybody is impatient to know what to buy. So nobody is going to tell you what to sell. And the opportunity to sell may not last till you decide to sell. So it's your responsibility to take charge, to seek out the right advice, either professionally or from friends and family, and process that advice objectively, make at least a few decisions based on the advice that you think is squarely in your interest, and lastly and most importantly, to action advice in due course within reasonable time. This is the time when an investor takes charge of himself and gets the advice that will give him the comfort in a more difficult market whenever we face it in the future. Thank you very much.